Hey everyone! So what's the deal with the GRE exams and how important are they for grad school applications? Some people may be wondering, so let's talk about it. If you're applying for grad school, you've probably done your research and you found out that many different programs are no longer requiring the GRE exam. That being said, if you are applying, you need to double check with your specific department and program to make sure that they indeed are not requiring the GRE. Because looking online, I saw that many major schools have some departments that are still requiring or recommending the GRE exam. So before we talk about how important the GRE exam is, let's remind ourselves, why do the GRE exams exist? Well, the reason GRE exams exist is so that grad schools have a metric with which they can compare all of the different college students applying to their programs. And this is a very common practice in many different industries, not just grad schools evaluating college students trying to enter their program. We see it in American football. For instance, the NFL Professional League, they have what we call the NFL Combine, where they invite a bunch of different graduating college students to go through a bunch of drills. For instance, the 40-yard dash, the shuttle, route running, bench press, and they have their own metric on which to evaluate these college graduating football players so that they can figure out who they want to draft for their team. However, like the NFL draft, the GRE, the SAT, these metrics are not perfect. You have Hall of Fame NFL players who've done terrible on the NFL Combine and vice versa. Likewise, you have amazing graduate students that do terrible on the GRE and vice versa. So these metrics are not perfect. However, for many years, when the GRE was required, students had to take the GRE exam in order to apply for these graduate programs. And only recently have schools taken the initiative to change their rules so that the GRE is no longer required. Even a few years ago, when I was applying, I remember speaking with professors, and some of these professors have told me that the GRE exam is actually something that they do not weigh as heavily as other parts of your application. For instance, your grades, your letters of recommendation, your research. However, you should still take the GRE seriously because it is, again, part of the application. So let's go on the GRE website just to get a sense of what these questions look like. So before we go onto the GRE website, let me show you what you should be doing when you're applying to your graduate programs. You should be going on every single university website for the schools that you're applying for and check whether or not your department is actually requiring the GRE, whether it's optional. So here I'm on Berkeley's graduate website, and scrolling through, they have this nice page where they list out all the different departments that they have and whether or not the GRE is required. So I don't know if all institutions have a page like this where they list out all their departments and summarize all their GRE requirements. And if not, you should check the individual website. But looking here, we have this nice list. And if you scroll through, a majority of the departments here at Berkeley do not require the GRE. So civil engineering, not required. Computer science, GRE is not required. But if you look carefully, there are a couple departments where they do require the GRE. So agricultural, resource economics, GRE is required, and then a couple are astrophysics, it's optional, and which means you can take it. And so you want to be very careful because we cannot make a blanket statement and say that the GRE is optional everywhere. And looking at another, prestigious school, Princeton, they also have a nice website list that lists out all the departments and whether or not the GRE is required. And again, it's optional in a lot of their departments, but looking here in the applied and computational math department, you see that they do require the subject test. So there are the GRE general test, but there also exists GRE subject tests, which are more specialized exams like math, physics, chemistry. And so the subject test in mathematics, physics, engineering, they're saying it's optional and not required for fall 2023, but recommended. So this is very interesting. So in my personal opinion, if you do see the words recommended, it basically, I would take it to mean required. That's my opinion. Because, so you should take, in this particular case, I think you should take the GRE exam and submit your score, unless your score is absolutely atrocious. But in that case, you should probably just retake it. And yeah, so we're scrolling through chemistry. They they have the subject test in chemistry, but it's optional, not required. And mathematics, they have a subject. They allow taking the subject test in mathematics, but oh, it's not accepted. It's not accepted. So in this case, like, you don't have to send it at all. You don't even have to consider whether or not to send it. And so these two schools I've shown you, they're major institutions, Berkeley, Princeton. So yes, regardless of where you apply, make sure to double check the website for your particular institution and whether or not the GRE is required. So just really quickly, let's take a look at the GRE booklet that the ETS website, which is the official people who host the GRE exam. Let's see what their booklet says about the GRE test. Take a look to see what we're dealing with. And if you look here, we see that the GRE general test consists of 3 different sections. There's a verbal, quantitative reasoning, and analytical writing, where you have to write an essay, and it's reported on a 0 to 6 scale, while the verbal and quantitative sections are 130 to 170 for a score scale. There was a time when it was out of 800, but they've changed it since. So let's look at some example questions. Scrolling down. And yeah, if you look at the GRE, I guess this is the GRE verbal part, we see that it looks like very similar to the SAT, actually. You have to read passages, and then you have to answer questions on these passages to see whether or not you've actually understood what you've read. And so this is very much like the SATs. And then down here you have these fill-in-the-blank questions. And so in here, a lot of it looks like, you know, memorizing vocabulary. And so, you know, verbal-wise, is this applicable to graduate school? Well, you know, if you are in a PhD program and you're writing papers, then yes, of course, it would be very helpful that you can understand the research papers that you're reading. When you're writing your own papers, you want to be able to be articulate. And so the GRE sort of tests on those particular skills. However, I'm sure that a lot of these departments, they understand that if English isn't your first language, a lot of students going into grad school are not from United States or a country that speaks English. So the verbal test, at least when I was in engineering, it's not everything, right? And now we're looking at the quantitative reasoning portion. And I mean, spoiler alert, you know, this math is honestly, I can only speak from an engineer's perspective. The math section in the quantitative section, I don't want to confuse it with the math subject test, but the quantitative section is not terribly difficult. It's very much, you see, geometry, very close to high school math. And so if you're in engineering, this portion of the test should actually be fairly easy. Even though the GRE is not, the most important part of the application, it does look kind of strange if you do atrocious in the quantitative portion of the GRE exam, and you're applying for, say, an engineering PhD program. So, it's comparing these two values, some algebra, some math, some algebra here, and then some math problems, which are, again, I would say they're high school level. And, college gives you another 4 years to work on those math skills. So that's the quantitative portion. So in the writing portion, you probably have to write an essay. And again, you have your 30-minute time limit for each task. You should look at this website in more detail, by the way. But it seems like they've shown, a list of topic pools of what you could be writing about. And then there's two different links you have here, issue topic pool and argument topic pool. Again, look at this website more carefully, okay? If you're taking the exam. And so it shows here in the website, they actually list out a bunch of different topics that they could be asking. Government should offer college and university education free of charge for all students. Write a response, blah, blah, blah. And then educational institutions should dissuade students from pursuing fields of study in which they are unlikely to succeed. Write a response. And, you know, support it. And again, this is very similar to the SATs. This is just the issue pool, but the argument topic pool, it looks like there is another list of questions. So I don't want to go too much into this, but yeah, this is, you know, make sure to check this website and take a look if you are taking the exam. So you have 3 different sections for the general test, and make sure to prepare for each of them individually. And finally, let's take a look at the GRE subject test portion of their website. So it seems like they have like chemistry, mathematics, physics, psychology. And looking at the mathematics section, say download the practice book. So it does seem like it's a bit more involved when you're going into these subject tests. So they have algebra, but they have real analysis, discrete mathematics, general topology, geometry, complex variables, probability. So you can see that the subject test is a bit more involved for the field that you're taking it for. And I mean, I already took a look at some of these questions. They are, you know, if you're a math major, you should probably know these questions, but they aren't trivial necessarily for someone who isn't majoring in mathematics. So again, some of the schools, they are not taking them, so you don't have to worry about them. But at least when I took them, I think the departments took the subject test a little more seriously compared to the general exam, because these tests are a bit more specialized and they are more helpful in indicating whether or not the student is prepared for their particular field. So double check whether the subject test is required, recommended, or you still got to take it. Hopefully this video could give you some context on what to look for, and you have many months to prepare for your grad school applications, so you can sort of figure out how you want to prep for the GRE exam. So good luck with everything, and have a nice day.